You have questions?
What is slashing?
We have answers.
Slashing is, like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. And, there's a penalty for that?
Yeah. You do that, you go to the box, 2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame, and then you get free.
This is CBJ in 30.
Anything you folks want to know about the fascinating world of pro hockey, here we go.
Tweet your questions by using the hashtag CBJIN30.
We'd like to remind you folks, keep your questions within the boundaries of good taste.
Here's your host, Bob McGilligan.
And welcome to another edition of CBJ in 30. It is a game day edition here today as the Blue Jackets get set to take on the New Jersey Devils here at Nationwide Arena. Blue Jackets and the Devils going to wrap up their season series, as a matter of fact, between each other here today. And the Blue Jackets looking to split this season series because they have gone 1-2 against New Jersey so far this year. They lost the previous meeting right here at Nationwide Arena and then lost one in New Jersey. That was one in which Anton Forsberg started in goal for the Blue Jackets. Then they got a win in Jersey the last time that they played there, just a couple of weeks ago. So they are hoping to build upon that, go with back-to-back wins against the New Jersey Devils, and get a victory here. They last played them on March the 6th, as a matter of fact. So here's today, the last day of March, and the Blue Jackets have a chance to split the series with the New Jersey Devils if they can get a victory against them here at Nationwide Arena tonight. So Blue Jackets have a lot on the line, trying to split this season series, trying to run their winning streak to 7 straight games, trying to get a second consecutive win at home. All of those things in play here tonight for the Blue Jackets, as a matter of fact. The first time that these two teams played was back in February, late February, and the Devils won that game 2-0. And that one, Corey Schneider got the win over Curtis McElhaney in that game. I mentioned Anton Forsberg made the start in New Jersey. Schneider got the win in that one as well. 3-2 was the final there, and 3-2 was the final back on March the 6th in New Jersey, the last time these two teams played as well. So we'll see what gives tonight. The news for the Blue Jackets today, they're going to get a couple of players back into their lineup. Alexander Wenberg will return, play in between Scott Hartnell and Marco Dano, as he was doing so very well before that infection in a cut on the top of his right hand that he incurred on that Western Canadian road trip. So he played in Vancouver. He didn't play since. Missed the Calgary game, the Anaheim game, and then missed the Chicago and St. Louis games, or Chicago if you just put those all together. But he missed 4 games. So Calgary, Anaheim. Yeah, okay. 4 games. My math was correct. I was as impeccable as I should have been. 4 games he missed with that injury, but he comes back into the lineup here tonight. Also back in the lineup is Matt Calvert, who's missed the last couple of weeks with a concussion. But he is back tonight. He's going to go in on the 4th line in place of Corey Trop. So the 4th line tonight for this game against the Devils is going to be Mark Letestu at center, Matt Calvert and Jeremy Morin on the wings. How much is that going to change the normal setup of the 4th line on this team? Let me answer that question for you. It will change it dramatically, tremendously. It will be changed. The Blue Jackets in this game should have 4 pretty balanced lines. And for Mark Letestu, he's got to be licking his chops for a chance to play with these 2 guys tonight. And that's not to take away from a Trop or a Bowl or anybody else who's been on the 4th line all year long. It's simply to say this. You've got speed and grittiness and skill on that 4th line tonight. So it's going to be a different type of a game for them. Talk about creating energy. Jeremy Morin and Matt Calvert do that just by the way they play, especially Matt Calvert. Just by the way he plays, he creates energy. Hitting guys, finishing checks, just scrapping along the walls, all of those things. So he'll be back tonight, and that is going to be a welcome addition to the Blue Jackets lineup to put him back in there. No doubt about that. And when you look at the setup of the lines, this is the way it should be, really. I mean, Matt Calvert he's played all over the lineup for this team in the last 3 years. And he's done a great job of it. Wherever they put him, he finds a way to make the most of it. He is an impact guy. He finds a way to be an impact guy. He's a heart and soul player. But really, the way it is set right now, if you have Matt Calvert playing on your fourth line, you're pretty deep. You've got a pretty good thing going on with your forwards if you're down to the fourth line for Matt Calvert. And that's where they are with him. So that's a good thing. I think it's a really good thing, to be completely honest with you. He's a penalty killer. He'll get out and get extra ice time doing that. He can move up in the lineup if somebody else is struggling. We saw the other day in St. Louis that Marco Dano was struggling with the puck a little bit. Jeremy Morin jumped up and played on that line for a bit. And then Dano went back. But it gives you options. As a coach, you get options. And it's really what you're looking for. You're looking for options. No question about it. And Todd Richards is going to have those tonight. He's going to have those options. He's going to have that, the ability to move some guys around if he wants to. And so that's a good thing for him. That's a good thing for the Blue Jackets, all told, to be able to do that, to have options. What you always want. You want options, you know? You're looking for the best. You're looking for the best group that you can put out on the ice. That's what you're looking to do. That's what you want. You want to put them out there. You want to let them go out and do their jobs. Simple as that. And they will get that option tonight by putting Matt Calvert back into the lineup and putting him on the fourth line with Jeremy Morin. I'm excited about that. I really am. I think it's going to make a big difference. A big difference. Especially against a team like the New Jersey Devils. All right, they don't fight. They slow everything down. They trap you. They try to, they take away your chances. The cliche is they take away your time and space. They do that. They take away the time and space. They play that clog the neutral zone game. They are very difficult to play against because of that. So to put this lineup out there and give yourself more chances to score, to have four lines that have the opportunity to score goals, that's how you beat a team like this. So I think it's going to be really good tonight, to be honest with you. The other thing is, for the Devils, playing against the Devils after you've just played the Anaheim Ducks, the Chicago Blackhawks, the St. Louis Blues, this is a totally different style of game here. It's different from everything. But you've had teams that are attacking, pushing, aggressive. Now you're going to play a team that just kind of backs off. They let you come to them, and then they take away everything you have. They let you come into the trap, and they take the puck from you. That's what they try to do. That's what they preach. That's how it goes. And that's what they do on a pretty much daily basis. I'm looking down here. See if I can tell which goaltender would be in the net tonight, but Schneider, I would presume. And he's a good goaltender. His goals against is a 2.19. He's a good goaltender with the potential of being an elite goaltender. Corey Schneider. So it's tough to get the puck past him, but it's tough to get the puck to him the way they play the game, the way that they make you come to them and, go at them instead of them coming at you. So they don't make many mistakes. They play within their system. They've played this system for 110 years. Feels like it anyway. It doesn't matter who the coach is, and right now they don't even have one. Doesn't matter who the coach is, they do the same thing. This is Lou Lamoriello, their general manager. It comes from the top. This is how you're going to play it, and here are the players you're going to play it with. Simple as that. Now, when I say they don't have a coach, that's because earlier in the year, they fired Pete DeBoer, and they've got this shared system of Adam Oates and Scott Stevens. And they're kind of co-coaches, something or other. Lamoriello will be on the bench with them, but nobody's been designated the guy as of yet. And they won't be until the offseason, which for the Devils is coming next week, just like it is for the Blue Jackets, or 2 weeks from now, whatever it is, April the 12th. So this team, when you look at it, they're an older team. They're an older team. Mike Camilleri is there, 38 points for him, one of the top point getters. But the guy that really stirs the drink for this team, to me, he was here in the All-Star game, is Patrick Elias. He's played over 1,200 games in this league. He's been phenomenal. He's Mr. Devil, really. Now the Martin Brodeur is not there. I mean, Patrick Elias he's been consistent for them. And, he's having a good year. Again, it's not much of a surprise. He plays in the system for a long time. He knows exactly what is expected of him. And he goes out there and he does it. Simple as that. So he kind of really leads the charge, if you will. He was a second-round pick of New Jersey back in 1994. And he's been here that entire time. 17th season in the NHL, all with the New Jersey Devils. And I'll tell you something. There is something positive to be said about that. I really like when guys stay in one place. I really, and that's any sport, I really respect the guys that can find a way to stay with one team. They want to stay with one team. Because it's rare these days. How often do you see a guy start and end his career with the same team? You just don't see it. Many factors. Salary cap, the free agency, maybe your team's not doing as well, somebody wants to pay you to go there and they have a better chance to win, all those things. But it is really admirable to me to see a guy start and end his career in the same place. And Elias is not ending his career. In fact, his name was floated around at the trade deadline. But for right now, 17 years in the league, all with New Jersey. I respect that. I really do. He gets it better than anybody else down there. And he's a great mentor for a guy like Adam Henrique, who's leading this team in points right now. To have that guy you can always look to in that leadership, the guy that knows how it goes. Hey, this is how we play here, son. It's how we played here for almost 20 years. And I've been here. And I'm going to tell you, we do it like this. So I think he's a great mentor for guys like that. No question about it. On the back end, they've got Adam Larson, Andy Green. They both can, if they don't find the net, they can set guys up to do it. They've got 22 and 21 points apiece coming into this one tonight. They've got, it's another classic, decent players, not a great team the way they're going at it right now. They've dropped behind the Blue Jackets in the last couple of games here. So it'll be interesting. The Blue Jackets have to continue to do what they've been doing. Don't get sucked into the devil's trap. Wow. As that came out of my mouth, that has so much meaning in so many different ways, right? Don't get sucked into the devil's trap. That's regular advice for everyday living, let alone how to play a game in the NHL. But when you're being specific about playing a game in the NHL, don't fall into their trap, literally. They will trap you. They will try to smother you, suffocate you. Your scoring chances will be limited at best. You've got to make the most of them when you get them. Simple as that. If you want to beat the New Jersey Devils, that's how you do it. You have to be consistent throughout the course of the game. You have to have a plan. You have to play it. You have to stick to it all the way through, or they'll find a way to get you. No question about that. I do not doubt that for a moment. In any event, let's get to what else happened around the league last night, because there were some big games last night, and there were some surprising results, maybe, perhaps. Let's just start in Montreal, where the Montreal Canadiens lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning 5-3 was the score in that one. So Tampa is closing the gap at the top of the Atlantic Division and the top of the Eastern Conference on the Montreal Canadiens with that head-to-head win last night in Montreal. 5-3 again, the final there. St. Louis off the rails a bit again last night. They were at home against Vancouver. The Canucks a 4-1 winner over St. Louis. I told you yesterday that the Canucks have a daunting 4-game road trip, or 4 road games anyway, remaining in the season. And they've got to play some of the top teams in the West, and 1 for 1 as they start that trip, as they beat the St. Louis Blues. The Chicago Blackhawks should thank the Blue Jackets, because whatever the Blue Jackets did to them when they beat them on Friday night, it got them back on track. Because they went in and beat Winnipeg on Sunday, and then yesterday they were at home against the Los Angeles Kings, and they looked great. Now, I was watching this game. I turned it on late in the first period, and early in the second period, it was 1-1. All of a sudden, the Kings take a penalty. Andre Sekera takes a bad penalty. The Blackhawks, Duncan Keith scores to make it 2-1. A little over a minute later, Nicholas Hjalmarsson gets a puck, gets to the high slot, beats Jonathan Quick. It's 3-1 game. And I'll tell you what, it would have been about 10-1 had it not been for Jonathan Quick, because he was the difference in the game. He was amazing. Some of the saves he was making were unbelievable. He was the only reason they were still in the game, the Los Angeles Kings, as he found a way to keep making stop after stop after stop. But eventually, the inevitable came as the Blackhawks beat the LA Kings. 4-1 was the final score in that one. The Calgary Flames took full advantage of that. They were on the road in Dallas. They put up 5 on the Dallas Stars, 5-3, the final in that one. So they put a little bit of cushion in their lead over the LA Kings in the Western Conference playoff picture. Edmonton was a winner on the road. They beat Colorado. 4-1 was the final in that one. And Buffalo was also a 4-1 winner at Arizona last night. So how does that change the standings for today? Well, I told you, Tampa Bay has now closed the gap on the Montreal Canadiens. Tampa goes over the 100-point mark. They guarantee themselves a playoff spot. Montreal with 102 points, Tampa with 101, Detroit in third place with 92 points. Boston Bruins are sitting 3 points behind the Detroit Red Wings in the second wildcard spot with 89 points on the season. In the Metropolitan Division, the Rangers with a 6-point lead over both the Penguins and the Islanders. 101 for the Rangers, 95 for Pittsburgh and the Islanders. And the Washington Capitals in the first wildcard spot with 92 points, trailing those other teams by 3. Now, the two teams that still are in the picture in the East, Ottawa, 3 points behind Boston, and Florida, 4 points behind Boston. Over to the Western Conference. St. Louis Blues. Excuse me. It's like Peter Brady right there, right? When it's time to change. If you're old enough, you get that. If you're not, YouTube it. I'm sure if you just put Peter Brady voice change, you can probably find it. Can't guarantee it, but I would think you could. Anyway, St. Louis trailing Nashville in the Central by 3 points, 102-99. They're the Chicago Blackhawks now creeping up on the St. Louis Blues. They've got 98 points. Two other teams in the Central in the wild card spots, Minnesota with 95 points, now 3 behind the Blackhawks, and Winnipeg with 90 points, rounding out the wild card picture. In the Pacific, it's the Ducks with 105 points. They're in cruise control right now. They lead the league. Vancouver now has 93, and Calgary has 91. The LA Kings with 88 points. So now they are 3 behind the Calgary Flames and 6 behind the Vancouver Canucks. Now, the Kings do have a game in hand on the Calgary Flames. So they've got to use that game to their advantage. Games tonight, besides this one this evening, the Boston Bruins play the Florida Panthers, so the Panthers can really do themselves a favor tonight. This game is in Boston, but if they can get a win in Boston tonight, they'll have themselves sitting pretty. Also, the Washington Capitals are at home taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they have a chance to actually pass Montreal because Montreal is not playing tonight. Tampa is at Toronto this evening to play against the Maple Leafs. The Detroit Red Wings at home against the Ottawa Senators. Again, with the Bruins playing, the Senators very much need a win in this game so that they can try to climb. And if they were to beat the Red Wings and the Bruins were to win, well, that's going to help out Boston's cause as well. Nashville is at home tonight. They take on Vancouver. And you've got the New York Rangers playing in Winnipeg this evening. So those are the games that are going on in the NHL tonight. So again, some good matchups and there's some things that could happen tonight that are going to affect the races. All right? Sorry. Zoned out for just a second there as I was looking at some of your questions that you have sent me today at Bobby Mac Sports on Twitter, and let's look at those right now. Let's see. CBJ or Die says a lot has went down this season. What would you say has been the most bizarre thing in the whole NHL? What would be the most bizarre thing in the NHL? Boy, I don't know what the most bizarre thing would be. I would have to think about that, to be honest with you. I'd have to go back and review because it's been such a long season. There are things that happened so long ago. I don't even remember. You know, if you want to specify to the Blue Jackets, I could give you a lot of bizarre things. How about 2 guys with stress fractures in their back in the same season? How about a guy that's gets an infected cut that keeps him out for 4 games? It's been bizarre. Not only the number of injuries, but the types of injuries the Blue Jackets have undergone this year. But as far as the whole NHL, I got to sit back and think about that one a little bit. Also, the second part of this question is Flapjacks on a Ferris wheel your favorite? Well, it was my first. And you always remember your first. So that's why it may seem like my favorite. I don't know. It's a standby. It's the first one I ever used, really. So that's so I guess yes is the answer. I guess yes would be the answer. Kelly wants to know, are there any regulations regarding concussions? Can a player with symptoms still play? No, he cannot. There are regulations, and you've got to get checked out, and you've got to be cleared to play. Whether it's continuing in a game or, it happens and after the game you're diagnosed, you have to be cleared before you can come back and play. Very dangerous thing, these concussions. And they've become more prevalent in recent years, probably because they're diagnosed now. Whereas years ago, you had a headache and maybe you didn't feel good, but you just played, no matter what the sport. Now they're diagnosed. Now there's, now they, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, now they know what they are. And they know how to spot the symptoms of it. Whereas years ago, you just kept playing. So yes, there are very, very strict regulations on this because it means so much. Matt Calvert just coming back from he was telling us this morning that how weird it was because normally if you have an upper body injury, you can continue to work out your lower body. If you have a lower body injury, you can continue to work out your upper body. You have a concussion, you can't do anything. Or very little. Some cases, nothing. Other cases, very little. But it starts to bug you. You start to get headaches and all those things. So it just takes away from everything that you do. It takes away from your life. It doesn't just take away from your game. It takes away from your life. So they're pretty strict on that stuff, especially in recent years. And that will just continue to get more strict, I'm sure. No doubt about that in my mind. So it's the Blue Jackets and Devils tonight here at Nationwide Arena. Puck dropping at 7 o'clock tonight. And if you can't be here, we hope you can. Obviously. It'd be great to have you in those seats watching this one tonight. If you can't be here, I've got the call for you on the Blue Jackets radio network, or you can watch the game on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets with a chance to split their season series with the New Jersey Devils. They could do that with a win tonight. Also, they could run their current streak to 7 straight games. So stay tuned tonight to see if they can get it done.